Hello everyone, Ryan here. So this will be my kind of late February wrap-up, but it'll also be my March TBR. That's right, TBR. Tacos, beer, and reading of books. We all know it. So, of course, I realize it's been a while since the last video I posted. It's been even longer since the last bookish related video I posted, and I guess you could say the reason for it is because I caught a terrible cold, and so I was pretty much out of commission for like a period of four or 5 days. Yeah, it was that severe of a cold, I guess, and I'm just now starting to feel a little better. So yeah, I don't know what's been going around, but I know a lot of my friends and family have caught the same cold, or at least something similar. So, but I'm grateful that I'm finally getting over it. My sinuses do still feel a little bit clogged, but at least I'm definitely grateful that the worst part is over. So, yeah. So, as far as what I read in February, first is, of course, this one, which is titled Legalizing Marijuana, Promises and Pitfalls by Margaret J. Goldstein. And I know I've mentioned this at least a couple times before. It's geared towards young adults, and it's pretty informative. It's not lengthy, but it is informative. I mean, especially being that it's geared towards young adults. One of the things I did learn just from reading this, which I was kind of aware of before, but I also completely forgot about, was the fact that not all strains of marijuana in other words, there's different strains of marijuana, and most people think that all marijuana is the same, that all marijuana just gives you that really spacey feeling, but that's not the case. There are other strains that are grown so that they don't give the user that spacey feeling. So that's what I learned from this. Overall, I would definitely give this 5 stars. Yeah. And I did, of course, read through this Best American Poetry 2016. And I believe I mentioned this before in my last currently reading video. This is also, it's pretty interesting. It's a very diverse collection of poetry. I believe I'll do a separate review on this, but I definitely enjoyed it. It's filled with some pretty eclectic poetry. Also, a lot of poets that I never heard of before. So definitely worth reading through at least once. And I also read this, Every Exquisite Thing by Matthew Quick. Matthew Quick is also the author of Silver Linings Playbook, and I thoroughly enjoyed this. I guess it definitely qualifies as being a typical young adult novel, but the writing style is slightly different, slightly unique, not too unique, but of course I will be doing a separate review on this. I believe there's a lot of elements within it to cover, but otherwise I definitely enjoyed it, and yeah, I do recommend everybody reads this at least once. Yep. And so the only graphic novel I read in February is this one, Doctor Strange. What is it that disturbs you, Stephen? And again, I believe this is one that I've also mentioned a couple times, probably more than a couple times by now. I also enjoyed this. Definitely, Doctor Strange is one of those characters that has access to a wide array of different abilities, and it's interesting to see, how he's able to, I guess you could say, really stretch what he's capable of, push the limits. There you go, push the limits of what he's capable of. So I thoroughly enjoyed this. I give this 5 stars. I don't know if I'll do a separate review on this. Maybe not. But yeah, I do give it 5 stars. Yeah. And so that's pretty much everything that I read in the month of February. I'm still in the middle of reading maybe about 2 other books. Not quite finished with them. But as far as my March TBR goes, I'll just get into that. First one I checked out is nonfiction. Checked out from my local library. It's titled What the Dog Saw and Other Adventures by Malcolm Gladwell. And I really had no intention of checking this one out. I just saw it at my local library. I skimmed through it. It seemed pretty interesting. It kind of reminds me of the writings of the work of guys like Chuck Klosterman. When they make these like different interesting observations about life and existence and the universe and animals, people. So, yeah. It seems to be kind of thick, but hopefully I can get through at least half of it. Another nonfiction book I checked out is How Do You Get This Number by Sloane Crosley. I believe that's how you pronounce her last name. Yeah. She's the author of another book titled I Was Told There'd Be Cake. And this one is also similar along the lines of, the work of Chuck Klosterman, where she makes like humorous observations. Except this one is maybe a little more autobiographical. Not too much, but it's much more of an autobiographical take throughout this. So, yeah. I don't know, I just skimmed through this one as well. It seems interesting and mildly humorous at the same time, so, yeah. And another one I checked out, this is a work of fiction. It's titled Constellation, A Constellation of Vital Phenomena by Anthony Mara. And this is another one, again, that I skimmed through. And I looked up on Goodreads. It actually seems to have a lot of pretty good reviews. And essentially it's about this 8-year-old kid. I guess I'll read some of the synopsis here. In a small village in Chechnya, 8-year-old Hava watches from the woods as Russian soldiers abduct her father in the middle of the night and then set fire to her home. When their lifelong neighbor Ahmed finds Hava hiding in the forest with a strange blue suitcase, he makes a decision that will forever change their lives. He will seek refuge at the abandoned hospital where the sole remaining doctor, Sonia Rubina, treats the wounded. For Sonia, the arrival of Ahmed and Hava is an unwelcome surprise. Weary and overburdened, she has no desire to take on additional risk and responsibility. But over the course of 5 extraordinary days, Sonia's world will shift on its axis and reveal the intricate pattern of connections that weaves together the past of these 3 unlikely companions and unexpectedly decides their fate. So, there you go. Let me know if any of you have heard of this. This is called Storm of Steel by Ernst Younger. I purchased this from a local used bookstore. I guess you could say it's like a typical, or somewhat typical, World War I novel. I don't know if I'm going to actually get to this month, but maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Another one I checked out is kind of a thin one. Okay, so sorry about that. My camera ran out of storage space there. But continuing, I checked out this one, which is titled Chronicle of a Death Foretold, and it's by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Of course, a lot of people are familiar with his work. Obviously, he wrote 100 Years of Solitude, Love in the Time of Cholera. And this is kind of it's a pretty thin novel. It has to do with a man who returns to his hometown, and there's some kind of murder that took place there. I don't know. Seemed interesting. I hope I'll be able to get to this one, because it is pretty thin. About 120 so pages. So. And last recent thing I checked out from my library is, I guess it's a collection of 3 short novels. Loving, Living, Party Going by Henry Green. I'm not really sure why I checked this one out. I guess it just seemed interesting. Also, I like the cover picture of the peacock. I don't know what it is about peacocks that I like. I don't know. I guess it reminded me of a peacock that I recently saw at a ranch nearby, and yeah, I don't know. But let me know if you've heard of this. Obviously, this is a pretty dated work, and this is also kind of thick. So, I also checked out 2 new graphic novels. This one is titled Harley Quinn and Gang of Harleys, and yeah, doesn't get much more interesting than that, right? A gang of Harleys, gang of Harley Quinns. Seemed interesting. The other one I checked out is titled Justice League 9001. Yeah. This has to do with, I guess, Justice League. It's the year 9001, and they're brought back to life. Well, actually, they're cloned, and their clones are, I guess, not as smart as the originals, obviously, but still possess the same abilities, and yeah, I don't know, seemed interesting to me. So there you go. That'll do it for my March TBR. Also wrap up. Thanks for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until next time, keep it real, keep on rocking, and peace.